Okay, good morning and welcome to my website. Today's discussion is going to be wrapped around buying a HUD home. Okay, this is for individuals that are looking in the possibility of getting a home. This is specifically for people that are out there that are low income, that don't make that much money, and have lived in HUD housing or had to go through continuum of care and stuff like that. Okay, so if you could handle a little bit of responsibility and save a minor amount of money, there is a great possibility, even if you have bad credit, that you would be able to get one of these very inexpensive homes, okay? So it's important that you listen to what I'm telling you. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is the website, which you can already see on the screen. This is my own website, okay? hudhousing.weebly.com. You can find a link in the description in the comments section. It's a clean website. There are no advertisements. Every single link goes to a .gov, .state, .county. The only exception to that rule is when I link to a major news organization, if that news is worthy, okay, or unbiased, which means I'm not going to deal with propaganda from either Democrats or Republicans. The information has to be clear cut, okay? With that being said, once you land on the main page, all the links to all the internal pages are here on the first page. The basic info is more inspirational and to get you motivated. And then if you look at the second link, HUD Buy a Home, the complete guide, this is where we're going to link to all the federal resources and you can read. Look, you do not have to have a high amplitude of intelligence to understand the things that they're talking about through all of this. And so I think this is the perfect resource for anybody, okay? Let's click on that and see where we go. So as you can see, we're going to land on my other page here and buy a HUD home. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, number one, figure out how much you can afford. This will discuss in obvious detail all the things that you need to know. So the first bullet point would be home economics. And then if you notice at the very top in the bar, you'll see HUD.gov. Okay, so it's not a joke and it's not to people's regular websites. And then you want to scroll through this. There are approximately 2 pages of a tremendous amount of resources on the page. And it will summarize what avenues you need to take in order to get your housing from a financial standpoint, okay? Now I'm going to go on back because we have a lot of bullet points to roll through here. So next up is going to be home buying programs in your state. This is a good resource. And then we're going to go back to HUD.gov. Look, guys, you can identify it by the state that you're living in, okay? State and then probably down to the city. So let's do Kansas. First thing, there's always an issue with .gov sites are going to be the coronavirus 19 and how we have some special rules right now. If you want to read about special rules, I did a video at noon today. You can find it on my channel and it'll tell you all the special rental rights that you have as long as we have this pandemic, okay? And so you go down here and then you can simply find your quick links to the information that you need specifically for the home sale, public housing, multifamily housing, and it goes on and on and on, okay? And then it also gives you the option of I want to, and then those links, okay? So at that point, HUD.gov's taken over from my video or my website, and then you're able to link to the resources that you want. Next up, we're gonna go to so I gotta click back a few sessions. You can talk to a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, okay? Now, let me make something very clear. These are people that are actually approved by the federal government to talk about this. This is not these 1-800, let me call somebody that's going to have me run down to the gas station to get them a gift card and pay them, okay? Do not ever pay anybody for anything when it comes to this stuff, especially if it's just advice, okay? So this is an approved list of people that the federal government trusts to help you with housing counseling, okay? They'll walk you through a lot of the steps. So if you don't like reading a lot, you can have an in-depth or at-length conversation with that particular link with HUD and the HUD organizations, okay? Knowing your rights. Look, people, I can't tell you. Every time you've got a free moment, you should always be looking into your rights. If you don't understand your rights, then you're going to allow people to just use or abuse you in any way they want to through any program. Let me give you a good example. HUD just got sued in Atlanta, Georgia, because they had housing discrimination, okay? Elderly black people were being discriminated against. So do not think just because you're dealing with HUD that, you know, there's not a human element involved. There's always humans, and humans can be good, they can be evil, okay? So you need to know your rights, because if you stay in the system long enough, you're going to find bad people that are going to do you wrong. And when that happens, you need to address that. I also want to say, once again, if you hop in my channel, it tells you all the federal ways and people you need to contact to get rid of people that are going to discriminate, that are racist, bigots, prejudiced, that are violating your ADA laws. Any problems you have, you can take it directly to a number of federal agencies, and it will have an extreme effect on their employment, and they may likely even end up on the unemployment line, okay? Next up, shopping alone. Look, boy, there is a tremendous number of scams. I would really stick with using this link. Why? Because it's all sponsored government, which means that, HUD.gov or HUD gives you an approved list of people that aren't going to lie to you, okay? I'm not saying their terms are going to be a beautiful deal. I'm not saying they're not going to be a little bit of a salesman, because they still are outside agencies, but you at least know that they're following the rules, okay? And then you have FHA help, and they can actually have conversations. You can call them. So when you link on that particular bullet point, you can link with them and have whatever discussion you need to have about questions. I know you guys hammer me with several thousand questions in the comment section and by email every single week. So, let's put some of that effort on the FHA, all right? And then you can learn about interest-only loans, okay? Let's be clear. USDA loans typically are zero down, 3% to no percent for 15, 30 years. And then as long as you have a job, and you attempt to buy a home outside the city limits, it's a fairly easy loan to get. I think you can probably get in with around a 530 score, 520, which means pretty much you have the worst credit on the planet. But of course, there are some people that got 350s, and it's usually people that are bankrupted and they decided not to pay all 20 credit cards. So, all right, beyond that, we can learn about home buying programs. There's an extensive library here, and the main thing that these bullet points are going to point you to are each separate loan program. Each one gets better and easier. Look, the government figured out a long time ago that they wanted to support people that literally made no money. And what I mean by that, work very low-end jobs, okay? So you're working at a fast food restaurant. Maybe you're a waiter. Maybe you're a bartender. Maybe you're just not making a lot of money. You can actually buy a home, people, okay? So I don't know why you would want to talk yourself out of that. Let me tell you this, what I said in my last video is, look, aren't you in HUD housing? Are you not meeting your obligation of rent? Are you not coming up with the money to feed yourself? Are you not paying all your utilities? If you're meeting those requiremements, then you can meet the same requirements for a mortgage. And just to be very basic, these mortgages sometimes are less than the rent you're paying for HUD homes. And as I've always said, these HUD homes, how the hell do you think these people got them to rent to you? Don't be surprised if you're renting a home from a former HUD renter. I mean, really, you have to have a real sense of imagination with this stuff when you really don't think that you're entitled or deserve to have a home simply because you are not a doctor or a lawyer. You really got to get past that thinking, okay? Shop for home. Look, there's a lot of different things here, but mainly these links, are going to link you up with programs and resources that are extreme discounts, okay? These are all federally sponsored, which means it's, once again, not these spammy, scammy links all over Google with people trying to sell you bullshit, okay? These are set up to grants and other federal resources that intentionally put money towards lowering your cost to be able to access resources like repairing your home, loans and different things like that are all approved by the federal government, okay? And then you can make an offer for HUD homes. Let me explain something about HUD homes, okay? Nice couple goes out there, say they're in their mid-20s, okay? They buy a $100,000 house and they go to a typical mortgage agency and they get a house note that's too damn big, they can't pay it. Then it goes back to Fannie Mae, Fannie Mac, and what happens there is they chop the cost of the house in half, it goes up for auction. Now the $100,000 house is still worth $100,000, but it's been sold for $50,000. If you're a first-time buyer, then you get even bigger discounts because of the tax rebates on that. Then you couple that with a USDA loan with zero down, zero interest. I mean, how much would you really need to prove? You have an employment, you're making money, and you meet the obligations. That's it, okay? In other words, almost anybody that's a drug addict that can hold down a job could go buy a $50,000 home. You know, let's not be crazy. $50,000 home divided over 30 years, your house note would be pocket change. So you've got to give yourself a fair chance at the way you're looking at whether you're worthy to be a homeowner, okay? Okay, another thing. So, you know, one of the big out-of-pocket deals, you know, usually with buying a home is going to be your home inspection. There's programs that pay for that too. So if you just gave yourself that excuse, then you need to just close your mouth and listen a little bit harder, because they tell you how the home inspections work, the expectations there and what you need to pay for. And that if you don't have the money, then like I said, there are programs for that. Number 8, shop for homes and insurance. These are people that are not going to rip you off and give you policies that are worthless, okay? So you want to investigate that when you get to the part. So you have an inspection. Of course, you have to have your home insurance, okay? It's not like a car you can drive around with no insurance. You're going to have to pay a little bit of insurance, and it's not that bad. I would look at these approved websites and then see. You know, you can start researching and figuring out, you know, if all these things are worth it to you. And then you sign your papers. And so this right here goes through the last thing, the part where you get excited, you get a set of keys to a home, and then you move on with your life and never have to deal with HUD again, okay? Other than the fact you're living in a HUD home. And it's not a HUD home at all, okay? It just means that HUD owns a damn home. That's it. It was never a HUD home. However, people do happen to buy these homes and rent them out to HUD renters, but it is not physically used to be a HUD home, okay? It was just a regular house. It's discounted big time, okay? I'm going to check the time and see where we are, and then we'll figure it out from there. So we're at 12 minutes. I think that's sufficient. You know, go to hudhousing.weebly.com. Start doing your research, okay? Unless you want to be a permanent renter for the rest of your life, which means you're constantly paying rent and you don't have a penny coming back to you. If you own the home, that's equity, which means you can borrow against it. If you own a home, you can rent out those rooms. So one person renting one room pays your house note. The other 3 bedrooms, you can simply rent out to more people. And then guess what? Now you have pocket change. So you're not even paying a mortgage anymore. Guys, you've got to use your common sense with this stuff. Okay? Because a lot of you going, oh, well, even if I do it, then I have a mortgage. Well, no, you don't if you rent the rooms. I mean, you know, come on. You really need to screw your thinking cap on with this stuff so you can advance past the welfare system, okay? I'm tired of seeing all you guys that are being held down. I want you to come up. Seriously. All right. So you know what, guys? It's July 2nd, and I want you to go out there and enjoy your July 4th, okay? We'll see you later tonight at 6 for our next video, which is going to be the Housing Choice Voucher Program. All right.